Welcome back to my channel. My name is Prachi and today we would be working on the fourth part of hydrogen chloride. In this lesson, we would go through the lab preparation of hydrochloric acid. So let's get started. Alright students, I hope you can see my screen now. So let's begin with hydrochloric acid. So when we talk about preparation of hydrochloric acid, it is exactly the same as what we did for hydrogen chloride gas. The only difference right here is that the dry HCl gas that you will receive, you combine that with water and you get hydrochloric acid. So same preparation, just add water to HCl gas. And that gives us hydrochloric acid. Now let's look at the preparation, like just the preparation reaction. So what do we have? We have NaCl plus H2SO4 reacting at temperature below 200 degrees Celsius, giving us NaHSO4 plus HCl. This HCl gas, we can combine this. Now this is the gas that we got. And if you remember from HCl gas preparation, that this HCl gas that we get is dry. It does not have any moisture in it. So when we get dry HCl, we add water to it. So HCl gas plus water. What do we end up with? We get we get HCl aqueous solution. Okay. What else? How else we can write this? We can say that HCl plus water and we get hydronium ion H3O plus chlorine negative. This hydronium ion is responsible for a lot of things. This hydronium ion is the one that helps us convert blue litmus paper to red. What does that mean? That means that if you have dry HCl gas, that will not show acidic nature. That will not turn blue litmus red because dry HCl gas will not have this hydronium ion. So that's one thing. The second thing is that when we talk about, let's come down here. So this is the first one, that it does not turn blue litmus red. You can take a note of this point right here. Dry hydrogen chloride gas and liquefied dry hydrogen chloride gas do not turn blue litmus red, showing non-acidic character of the dry gas. So this is one thing. The second thing is about conduction of electricity. This hydronium ion is also responsible or helps in conduction of electricity. This means that if you have HCl acid, that means you have water in it, you have hydronium ion in it. This will conduct electricity. But hydrogen chloride gas will not. So dry hydrogen chloride gas does not conduct electricity. Does not conduct electricity. Now let's look at similar points in notes. So far what have we done? We have done that hydrochloric acid has the same preparation as hydrogen chloride gas. You mix water in it and you get the aqueous solution, which is your hydrochloric acid. Because of the presence of hydronium ion in hydrochloric acid, it is a good conductor of electricity and it turns blue litmus paper red, showing the acidic character of the hydrochloric acid. Now you can write that in points also. You can see it on the screen right here. Dry hydrogen chloride gas and liquefied, this does not turn blue litmus red. That's point 1. Liquefied hydrogen chloride gas does not conduct electricity, showing covalent nature of hydrogen chloride. And the third important point is hydrogen chloride gas is also soluble in toluene and acetone, which are organic solvents. This we also discussed in the last part of the video. Okay students, moving on to the lab preparation of HCl acid. So as we just discussed that HCl acid has the same preparation as HCl gas. The only point is that once your HCl gas is generated, you dissolve it in water and you get HCl acid. There is a proper method that we follow while dissolving water in HCl gas. So let's look at that. So this is known as inverted funnel arrangement. Inverted funnel arrangement. So whatever we did as the part of preparation of HCl gas, at the end of it, when you have HCl gas being generated, you just introduce this apparatus right after that. So you have HCl gas. So this is HCl gas coming in. This goes in here. This is inverted funnel, and you have a water trough right here. One thing to keep in mind is that this water trough should be just touching the brim of your inverted funnel. It should not be dipped in water. It should not be away from the brim. It should be right here touching the level of water. As soon as HCl gas is being generated and it comes here and it comes in contact with water, the level with which water dissolves in HCl gas is pretty high. So, since the speed with which HCl gas is being generated is comparatively low and water is being dissolved in HCl gas pretty fast, so this water will start taking up space over here in the funnel. Because of this, an air gap is created. That means water will rise up into the funnel, and right below the funnel over here an air gap is created. Because of this air gap, eventually your water will fall back down into the water trough and it will not rise up into the tube. If we do not have an inverted funnel arrangement, what would happen is, let's say you simply have a tube, okay, and that tube is like dipped in water, like this. So because the speed with which HCl gas is being produced is less compared to the speed of which the water is being dissolved in water, the water is being dissolved in HCl gas, the water will start rising up into this tube and will eventually go back. This process is known as back suction. So what do we understand here? We understand that we need a broader surface for more absorption of HCl gas in water, and so that as soon as water rises up into the funnel, because of the weight of it, it falls back. Otherwise, what would happen is, if you have a tube, the speed with which water is being dissolved in HCl gas will create a low pressure in the test tube, in this tube, which will give rise to the water, and the water will start moving up into the flask because of back suction. So few things that we can take a note from here. Number one, inverted funnel arrangement helps us to reduce back suction. So no back suction would happen because of it. The second is, you have a larger surface area for HCl gas absorption in water. So these are the two important points that we have here. You can take a note of these points from the notes. Prevents back suction of water. Provides a larger surface area for the absorption of HCl gas in water. So two important things. Alright, so let's look at the kind of questions that we can expect from this part. Why is funnel arrangement used? So before we go into that detail, let's see the preparation of HCl gas that we had. So where do we introduce the funnel arrangement? We put the funnel right here, and then we have the water trough. But what would happen if we do not have the funnel arrangement? Let's say this is the tube that is bringing your HCl gas in, and this beaker is filled with water. Now what would happen is, the speed with which HCl gas is being generated is comparatively low to the speed with which HCl gas is being dissolved in water. So the HCl gas will keep dissolving. This will create a low pressure in this tube. Because of that, water will start going up and occupying that space. As vacuum is created, low pressure is created. This water will start rising up into the tube. As it rises up, it will eventually go back, and this will cause back suction. Okay. As it goes back and comes in contact with concentrated H2SO4, this may cause an explosion. So this is what happens if we are not using the funnel arrangement. Therefore, why do we use funnel arrangement? We use funnel arrangement to reduce the chances of back suction. So that's your answer for that. Now, let's come back here. Why is funnel arrangement used? We just discussed that. What will happen if an ordinary tube is used instead of inverted funnel arrangement? That is also what we just discussed. Now, let's look at the kind of answers you can mention in the exam. Let me just get rid of this. Alright. So, for the first question, why is funnel arrangement used? So, hydrogen chloride gas is sufficiently soluble in water, so it is absorbed in water more quickly than it is being generated in the flask. In this case, the pressure in the delivery tube and flask is reduced, and the atmospheric pressure from outside forces the water back up to the delivery tube. This effect is called back suction. So to reduce this particular effect, that is the reason why we are using the funnel arrangement. So this is the answer for the first question. You can pause your video right here and take a note of this answer. Moving on to the second question. The second question said that what would happen if we use an ordinary tube? So what would happen is, if we have ordinary tube, the water will rise up because of back suction, reach concentrated H2SO4, and an explosion may happen. So this was the answer for that. Let's see how we can draft it. The water will quickly fill it and pass over into the generating flask. This would stop the reaction and might result in an explosion due to the heat produced when water comes in direct contact with hot and concentrated sulfuric acid. So those are the two important questions that we just covered in funnel arrangement. Let's move on. What precaution should be taken to avoid this explosion due to back suction? Okay, now we do understand we are using the inverted funnel arrangement, but even with that, there are chances that back suction may occur. And when we are preparing in laboratory, we need to make sure that we are taking all possible precautions. So what kind of precaution can we take here? So let's look at the diagram once again. So this is my diagram. Now imagine that you have an inverted funnel arrangement right here and you have a water trough introduced with that. Now, to avoid back suction, what we will do is, we will introduce an empty flask in between the generating part and in between the absorption of HCl gas. So over here, we will have an empty flask. So what would that look like? It would look like an empty flask like this. It will have two openings. So one will be coming from concentrated H2SO4. This will have your dry gas. And then from here you will have connected the inverted funnel arrangement like this. So what would happen in this case is, even by chance, if some back suction occurs, that water will rise up and come back into this empty flask. So if in the exam they ask you what precaution should be taken to avoid the explosion due to back suction, so we introduce an empty flask in that case. Now let's look at the answer for that. You can again pause and take a note of the answer. Otherwise, I will mention the notes in the description box so you can download them from that part. Now, to prevent an explosion due to the heat produced when water comes in direct contact with concentrated sulfuric acid due to back suction, an empty flask over here, you can see, an empty flask is put between the generative flask and the water trough. In case the back suction does occur, the water will collect in the empty flask and will not reach the generating flask. So these are the three important questions and the funnel arrangement. So students, this is where we conclude today's session. In this session, we have discussed the preparation of HCl acid and how do we dissolve HCl gas in water, how do we attain HCl acid. We did a lot of precautions and a lot of important questions in this session today. In the next session, we would be working on the physical and chemical properties of HCl acid. So stay tuned for further parts that are coming for this video. For any part that you have missed out from the back portion of the chapter, please go back into the playlist. I have all the parts mentioned there. You can take a look at that. If you do not find something, please do mention that in the comment section below. I would be happy to help you out. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe and share this channel and help me move forward. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next session.